Welcome back to Can Angels Fly 1970. If you're new to this channel, my name is Nancy. Welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Welcome back. This video is not a tarot reading. Matter of fact, doesn't really even deal. It doesn't deal with tarot. I doubt if I'll even mention any tarot throughout this reading. This reading is actually a commentary to share some information that was given to me. The energy of this video is prophetic in nature. I guess you can say it like that. I'll explain. On, I think it was, oh my goodness, I got it. On March 6th, 2016, I had a dream. Well, I said it was a dream, but I was awake. But I will say, it had to take place, I think I went to bed that particular evening around 3 or 3:30 or something like that. I laid in the bed, real restless night. And as I started to settle down, something amazing happened. Now, I'll be fair and say, well, maybe I was just drifting off to sleep when this event I'm about to talk to you about or explain to you took place. I was laying in the bed. Now, in reality, as far as I'm aware, I was fully up. I had just laid down. And maybe 5-10 minutes later, I heard, pray. Okay. So, I'm praying. I'm not, in reality, physically praying, but I'm praying in spirit. I couldn't tell you what the prayer was, but I was praying. And like I said, I'll be fair and say I started drifting off to sleep. And as I was praying, I started to feel a presence. Well, I already felt the presence that said pray. But then it seemed like there was others present. And so at this time, I'm like staring at my ceiling. I'm laying flat on my back in the bed, staring at the ceiling. And I'm like, okay. After that, then it became this, how can I say it? This strong vibrational energy beginning to build. And so I'm like, now I'm kind of like on alert, like, okay. And so I'm like, what is this? And the presence, who I will say, I believe was God, said, just pray. So I kept praying. Again, I couldn't tell you what the prayer was, but I was praying. And as I continued to pray, the presence of others became stronger and stronger. And the tension began to build bigger and bigger. And then suddenly I could see visually shackles and chains, like ankle shackles this thick, wrist shackles, and all these chains, big heavy chains. And then I could feel the weight of the chains. I apologize, that's the computer. I could feel the weight of the chains bearing down. And so I'm looking like, okay, now I'm fully up. I'm completely aware I'm up. So I can't give that lenient explanation that I might have been just drifting off to sleep. No, I'm up. But I knew not to move. And so I'm still praying. Now I can visually see these shackles and chains. I can fully feel the presence of others. And I can feel the presence of the Supreme God. And so I'm looking like, and I'm telling y'all, I'm nosy. I'm nosy. So in my mind, I'm like, what's going on? What is this? What is this? And God says, just keep praying. That's what I did. Now, as the prayer continued, as it progressed, it seemed like me and the others were like harmonious. It was all together. It was just all together. We prayed together the same prayer, whatever that prayer was. And as we prayed, it built an intensity. The prayer built an intensity. It's like as we woke up to this prayer or this meeting in which we were praying, as everybody awoken to it, it's like the prayer got bigger and bigger and bigger and more powerful. And the chains, remember, it was just like light vibrations, but the chains began to really like tremble. And so I'm like, mind you, I'm fully awake. So now I'm laying in the bed, trembling. I'm like, oh my God. And so again, I'm like, what is this? And I'm trying to put it in the right order. Again, it happened March 6, 2016. Before I proceed, I'm going to say that day before yesterday, today is April 29th, 2016, 11:11 p.m. Day for yesterday, I was walking through my living room and I heard, "Did you forget?" I'm like, yeah, no, but I had some questions, and I'll come back to the questions I had. I hadn't forgotten. I just kind of pushed the experience in the back of my mind. I hadn't forgotten, but I had questions and concerns. So I'll finish with the experience, the dream, however you want to categorize it, the prayer. And so, still praying, not in the physical, but in the spirit, because I knew not what to say. This prayer is going on with us. And the chains and the shackles are like pulling down. And it's like, the prayer is like trying to break us out of the chains and shackles. The prayer went on, and I guess my body, I'm a big woman, and I'm not saying that my physical body left my bed, because it did not, but the spiritual body, I've never had this experience, started to levitate. And so as the spiritual body, the spiritual Nancy, started to levitate off of the bed. Now the chains have tension on them, and there's still this violent vibration. The chains and the shackles don't want to break. And so God begins to basically tell me what's going on. And one of the first things he says to me is, other than to pray, just pray, is that, how did he say? I'm trying to get it in order. I'm sorry, I know this is starting off very slow, but I want to get it in the right order. It was an amazing experience. and mind you, I'm not a religious fanatic or a God fanatic. I've had my time in the church and I've studied. Another truth about me is that I got very angry with God a long time ago, and I stopped reading my Bible and studying and just moving forward in life the way I could do it. I'm telling you, I was so disappointed because I would pray. I mean, I studied, I prayed, I went to church. I did my studies on the outside of the church. Oh my goodness. And I used to pray so, and I would be on my knees. So it was a period in my life where my knees were red and raw. I couldn't touch them. I couldn't even get on them anymore. And I was getting beat up by life. And I'm not going to say I had a bad life, but I just felt beat up and ignored. So for this to happen to me, it was like, okay. But that's not the thought that was going on in my head. That's something that came later. Now let me get back to the dream. I'm just trying to remember exactly the order so that I can get you to understand what I experienced. Okay, I'm going to stay on it. So, my spiritual body has levitated off the bed. There's tension in the chains. The shackles have my wrist and my ankles. The chains are suspended or stretched to maximum capacity and is a violent vibration. And suddenly, I think I'll say it like this, suddenly the chains shatter. Like, and so mind you, my body, my spirit body is levitating and it's pulling on the chains that bind me and restrain me and draw me back down. And so my body, spiritual body, is levitating. The chains are stretched to maximum capacity, violent vibrations. And mind you, I'm in the bed, like physically, like real life. Oh my goodness. And so again, God was talking to me. I'm gonna go over what he was saying after I finish telling you. I think I can do that better. And so the chains snapped. I could breathe. Not only could I breathe, the body ascended. And the chains, let me talk about the chains and the shackles and what they represent. The chains and the shackles represent the strongholds that bind us. Us who? Humanity. They are the demons that possess and allure and dictate and motivate us into doing self-destructive things and activities. So, the shackles were broken. The stronghold was broken. And that's what God said to me. Once the shackles broke, and I mean, like, soon as they broke, it was like, oh, I could breathe. And I ascended. And he said, the stronghold is broke. I'm like, it is broke. And I could feel it. Now, mind y'all, I'm fully awake. Fully. I know not to move. Just stay in the state. Not to move. Number one, to move. It was not just me. We were connected. That was the next thing. That we who? Humanity, are connected. We were in the experience, and we are connected And we always have been. And so he tells me again that the stronghold has been broken. And then he also explains to me the reason why it took place at the moment in time it did. He said, had it taken place any other time in my waking busy hours, he said, you would have messed it up. Y'all would have messed it up. He said, so I had an appointed time this time. And I had to make sure. It was like, what I got from what he was saying is like, he said he says, I come like a thief in the night. And you don't know when it's going to happen. And that was the experience. Didn't expect it. Wasn't thinking of nothing religious, spiritual, wasn't praying with nothing. It was like just boom. The onset was sudden. And so he's like saying, hey, I had to plan it this way and execute it this way. Because if you, humanity, knew what I was going to do, you would have let the secret out. You would have messed it up somehow. So, it had to be that I came like a thief in the night. That's a verse in the Bible. And so, that makes sense to me now. Let's see. Let me continue. And the next thing was, let me talk about the shackles. Let's talk about the shackles. I'm trying so hard. This is a complicated thing to explain. But let me finish talking about the shackles. So the shackles break. The body ascends, and God tells me, stronghold has been broken. And I can breathe. We can breathe. And what happens next is the shackles themselves had life. They had an energy, very, very powerful, strong energy. Those shackles, again, like represented or were assigned to a particular spirit or demon, and that demon may be governed over that shackle and chain and bound me and you. And when the shackles broke off of me and you, they fell down to the ground and then came back up and grabbed hold of the same spirits and demons and energies that has held us captive and bound for the lifetime of humanity. Took those demons and put the stronghold on them. After that, the weight that was accumulated on those chains, in those chains, by the demons being locked up rather than us, we free. Now they locked up. They started to slide down into the ground, going into what we call hell. I can see this. I can see all of this in the spirit. And what God told me after that, the stronghold is broken. I have bound them and sent them to hell. I'm trying to get it in order. He said that from this moment forward, now this was March 6th, 2016. He said from this moment forward, I might miss something. I'm trying to get it in order. So if I do, I'm going to come back and just tell you where it fit in at. He said from this moment forward, you, humanity, are responsible for whatever you do. Each individual is responsible for whatever they do. They no longer have an scapegoat. Wow. I'm like, wow. It was wow. I'm like, right now I'm trying to think to make sure that I cover everything because it seems like I'm forgetting something. But I'll go on. I'll go on. And so at this time, I'm aware. Oh, I know. I knew I was forgetting something. Now, when I keep saying me, us, humanity, he also spoke to me as he did them. Now he's talking to all of us, but this is my experience. Is that we all were praying. Oh yeah, we were, as we are all praying that collective prayer was what was used to break the stronghold. Now, for people that don't believe in God, or don't matter what God you believe in, it don't matter who you are, what you are, if you're here on this plane in a physical body, the shackles were broke for you too. You know, it was like, my shackle broke. And anybody I know, I've heard that we are within 4 people of knowing anybody in this world. And so it was like that. Nancy know, and they know, and that next person Nancy know, and that third person Nancy know so many people. And mind you, these were people all over our world that were praying simultaneously in the spirit, having the same experience at the same time. How many people all over the world? I don't know. I do know that I could feel the presence of us and how we were obedient. I mean, he had to set us up to be obedient. Like you said, I couldn't let you know. It was an appointed time, and basically I came like a thief in the night. We prayed, shackles broken. Those shackles for me broke, and the next person broke, and the next person I know, whoever they knew broke, and the next person I knew, their shackles broke, and whoever they knew broke. It was like and then as the shackles fell, they jumped back up and grabbed hold, like I said, of the enemy, the spirits, the evil, the demons, and start to drag them down. Talking about an awesome, amazing experience. 23 minutes to explain it. I hope I did it justice and made it make sense. Like I said, when you come here, you're coming to ride a wave. Okay, let me move on. So, after everything was complete, God had explained everything. Okay, that's it. At that time, at that moment, very moment, I knew I could get up. So I jumped up to my feet. Soon as, like, I jumped to my feet. It was 5 a.m. in the morning. Came to my computer, and I logged in the date and the time, and titled it. What did I title it? Stronghold Broken. Now ascend. I think that's what I typed in. The stronghold is broken. Now ascend. Something like that. So, now that was a dream. That's why I say, I believe that a prophecy has been given to me. And I'm going to share it with you. It's up to you to acknowledge it or not. I'm going to look at my notes to make sure I went over everything. Okay. Okay. That was the first thing. Now, what I did when I took the date and time down, it was like when I first get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. That was as soon as it ended. Jumped up, wrote the time down. 5 o'clock in the morning. I was so excited, but I had been up all late watching TV and doing what I do and studying and stuff. And so I was like, okay. I was just going over it like in my head, like, And so I finally went ahead and fell asleep a few hours. Later on, I talked to an associate of mine about it, and like I said, I had questions. The questions, yeah, I was looking for some answers to the questions I had. So when I set up a little while after that happened, and during the course of the next few days, I'm saying, God, universe, I have some questions. And the questions were, okay, I experienced it. The strongholds are broken. They have been taken away. And now we're responsible for everything we do from this point on. No more excuses. No more scapegoats. And for this part of the video, I'm going to use an example I always use in my videos. And that's me with a cigarette smoking habit. Terrible thing. Terrible. Partaking in something that you know has the potential to kill you. That you can feel is deteriorating your body, but you still continue. That's a stronghold. Now the stronghold is broken. My question to God, universe, is and was, all right, the stronghold is broken, but I've been smoking cigarettes for 20 years. Habit has been formulated over 20 years. Dependency. How do I stop it? How do I get the courage to stop it? It still requires some courage. I haven't received a response yet. I'll let you know when I do. But that was my concern for me. And I'm sure as people hear my testimony that they will kind of say, yeah, I got this thing. All right, Nancy, you're saying that you had this experience. Yay, strongholds broken. But how do I stop? That's another video. So I'm going to just move forward with this. So, as I said early in the video, about 2 or 3 days ago, I was walking through my living room and I heard, did you forget? No, I didn't forget. I just had some questions and concerns. I've been waiting for answers. Did you forget? My response at the time was, no, I did not. And I'm going to go ahead and see what the stars have to say. Information, more information about myself. My hobby is astrology. I'm self-taught, so you take my interpretations with a grain of salt. But I think I kind of got it. I've been studying astrology for as long as I've been studying tarot. They go hand in hand to me. And so, being obedient and even being pushed to curiosity, I went and plugged the date and time and location of where the event happened for me into a calculator, what do you call it, like a transit calculator, to get the positioning and the degrees of the stars. And I found an amazing story. So, what I'm about to do now is actually read to you the layout of the stars at the time that I woke up right after the experience on March 6th, 2016 at 5 a.m. in the morning. So, here is the layout of the stars in the sky at the time I woke up right after the experience. Or I got up out of the bed right after the experience, jumped right on up and turned to this computer, and went and typed in. I actually typed break the stronghold and a sin. Stronghold broken and a sin. Okay, whatever. It's 5 a.m. March 6th, 2016. The stars in the sky. In the first house, we had Aquarius. Aquarius at, I didn't write the degrees, but I translated them. So when you hear me say, the first sign I'll say is the sign that it was in, and the second sign you hear me say behind that will be the sign that correlates to the degree that the ruler was in that particular sign. Here we go. In the first house, Aquarius, Leo, Moon. Aquarius, this doggone computer, I gotta figure out how to stop it. Sorry. Aquarius, Libra, Palace. Aquarius, Scorpio, EP. Aquarius, Sagittarius, Venus. Aries, Pisces, Mercury. Gemini, Pisces, part of fortune. Cancer, Pisces, Neptune. Libra, Pisces, Sun. That was all the first house. In the second house, Sagittarius, Pisces, Chiron. Aries, Scorpio, Uranus. That was the second house. Now the third house. Aries, Pisces, Vesta. Then it moves to the 8th house. 8th house is retrograde Jupiter, Virgo, Scorpio. I should say Virgo, Scorpio with Jupiter retrograde. Virgo, Sagittarius, the node. Libra, Lilith retrograde. Now, the 9th house. Scorpio, Libra, Juno. Scorpio, Capricorn, midheaven. Now the 10th house. And it's kind of laid on the cusp between, or it did lay on the cusp between the 9th and the 10th house. Sagittarius, Aries, Mars. Sagittarius, Aries, Mars. The 11th house, Sagittarius, Libra, Saturn. And finally, the 12th house, Capricorn, Libra, Pluto. Now, that was the layout that I got from the calculator. And what I'm going to do now is interpret the meaning of this lineup. It was something that I forgot to do when I was sharing my dream with you. So, I'm going to stop right here and read from the King James Version Bible, 2 Samuel chapter 22. And the reason I want to stop before I move forward on interpreting the position of the stars in the sky at that time is because it's like the things that are written in the Bible. I know the King James Version Bible is not for everyone. But what I'm seeing is that it's truth. You know, I'm sure it's truth in every culture and every doctrine. But you got to search. Now I'm seeing these things materialize. So I just want to read this particular scripture, which I had when I was walking through my living room a few days ago. And I heard the voice say, "Did you forget?" And I was like, no. This was where I was directed to go. Like God was saying, this is what you have learned. Now let me show you. It's real. It really has a place. It's not just a book. It really has its place. And now mind you, there's people all over the world that have this experience. So we all got different religions and just life backgrounds, period. So on their journey in life, some truth has been revealed through the information that they've accumulated in their lifetime. So I'm assuming that they were directed back to their source of education, knowledge. You know. So all I can do is share my experience from my perspective, from my life journey. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not here to try to convert anyone, but to show you how I am seeing that this is real. It's no joke. It's no joke. It's some serious stuff here. But before I get too personal, I'm going to just read. So this is 2 Samuel chapter 22. Ugh. Did I write it down? I don't think I did. This same scripture or text in this chapter is repeated in Psalms. I had it written down, you know, me and my notes. But it is repeated in Psalms. So to repeat a whole, basically, chapter in another book has to mean that it's significant. But in the past, I never noticed it. And I didn't realize it until I went to search this scripture out. So let me read it. And it's relating to the actual experience, dream I had on March 6th. Anyway, it says, "And David spoke unto the Lord the words of the song in the day that the Lord had delivered him out of the hand of all his enemies, and out of the hand of Saul. And he said, The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. The God of my rock, in him I will trust. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation, my high tower and my refuge, my Savior. Thou savest me from violence. I will call on the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies." Let's see how far. Can I move it down? Oh my goodness, is it going to let me move it down? Okay. "When the waves of death encompassed me, The floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell encompassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. In my distress I called unto the Lord and cried to my God, and he did hear my voice out of his temple, and my cry did enter into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations of heaven moved and shook, because he was wroth. Then went up smoke out of his nostril, and fire out of his mouth. Devoured coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet. I'm not the best reader. Just bear with me as I scroll. Okay. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind, and he made darkness. I wish I knew how to read words. I'm going to try to say it. I should check to make sure that I could pronounce all these words, and it's easy. Pavilions around about. I'm going to start again. This is verse 12. And he made darkness pavilions around about him, dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Through the brightness before him were coals of fire to kindle. The Lord thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice, and he sent out arrows and scattered them, lightning and discomforted them, and the channels of the sea appeared. The foundations of the world were discovered at the rebuking of the Lord. At the blast of the breath of his nostril, he sent from heaven. Oh, goodness. Where was I at? He sent from above. He took me. He drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from the strong enemy and from them that hated me, for they were too strong for me. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my stay. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. The Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanliness of my hands hath he recompensated me. For I have kept the ways of the Lord, and have not wickedly departed from my God. For all his judgments were before me, and as for his statutes, I did not depart from them. I was also upright before him, and I have kept myself from mine iniquity. Therefore the Lord have recompensated me according to my righteousness, according to my cleanliness in his sight. And I'll say that in end of the scripture, in his sight. So what I wanted you to get from that was that he says in this particular chapter that he acknowledges that we are under, or were under, strongholds, things that we couldn't overcome, and that in an appointed day that he would come and break them. And he did. And now, as far as me being, what did it say? Righteous? I don't know about that. It says according to his sight. So, I can't toot my horn because I'll be a lot. Maybe he knows something about me that I don't know about me. But I was just reading that. It was another verse that I had drawn up on, and it's not here. But it was talking about the casting down of Satan and his army into the pits or into the abyss for 1,000 years. I think this is in Revelations. I think it was in Revelations 2. Revelations. I want to say it was Revelations. I can't believe it's not here. The 20th chapter. I can't believe it's not here. Oh, wait a minute. I have it. So, okay, now, that scripture, as I said, had to do with him acknowledging that there are strongholds that had us and that he would have to release us from them. Now, this particular reading is from Revelations. I believe it was Revelations chapter 20. I don't know why this Apple, whatever you call it, did not say what I meant to say. But I'm going to read it again. I think it was Revelations chapter 20. And it says, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This was the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth." Here go these words again, I don't know. God, G-O-G, and Magog, I don't know, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sands of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and encompassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city. And fire came down from God out of heaven, and devoured them. Oh, wow, how much did I... Okay, I'll keep reading because there must be something else I wanted to talk about. "And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it. From those faced the earth, and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. Okay, I wanted to get to that. Let me see. How much more? Okay, I'll just keep reading. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. That's why I had to read all this. I'm sorry I got it all mixed up and left it out the first half of the video, but again, it's real. But let me finish these last two verses. It says, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Now, for me, when I was in church, the hellfire brimstone was an issue for me. Like, well, no, God put his people in hell. Like, you're right. Here you go. Here you go. Now, I read a chapter that dealt with the stronghold and the breaking of the stronghold. I'm telling y'all, I experienced that about a little over a month ago. I experienced it. I was a part of that phase. And I told y'all what happened once the shackles broke off of us. That they took hold of those same spirits that had been assigned to us and used those shackles and chains to enslave us and to hold us down, the strongholds, now being placed on them and being dragged down to the ground, to the place we call hell. Now, mind you, I haven't really picked up my Bible in years. Since I started this YouTube channel, I've been going more back into my Bible now than I have in years. Things that I read and studied and learned back then are starting to swell up now. You know, something's going on in my life. It's something going on in this world. Anyway, the second reading I read from Revelations talks about those demons being sent to hell. And remember, I was telling you how God said, oh, now every individual person, every individual being on this planet is responsible for what they do now. He said, I'm going to come back to that. They went to the lake of fire. Death, hell, Satan, everybody was judged by their works. I was like, oh. Now mind you, I just went back to this yesterday as I went to prepare to make this video, because I wanted to be as informative as possible. Okay. Well, let me close this app down for a moment. Now, before I read those scriptures, I told you how the stars were laid out in the sky. Now, it is time for me to begin to interpret this information for you. After I interpret the information for you, I'm going to give you a summary of what the information means collectively, the whole sky, what it's saying, what we were saying at that time, you know. So I tried to take down some notes that describe or what I'm about to interpret. So if you see me looking at my papers and flipping, it's because I'm trying to get the information out as quickly as possible. So I took the notes. Okay. The first house, when it has Aquarius, now Aquarius is the sign that represents humanity. It has two generational planets that rule over it, Uranus and Saturn. Now, I'll come back to Uranus and Saturn, but Aquarius, it is, and if you watch my tarot readings, when I describe certain signs, when I tell you a certain sign, I describe it. Well, Aquarius is the individual interacting in a large group. What's a large group? In this case, the world, humanity. And when you partner Leo with Aquarius, remember I translated the degree number into the sign. So when you partner Aquarius and Leo, they're opposite each other. That's the 5th and 11th house. Therefore, it's a balancing act. So, and in this particular, with this particular one, it's the moon. So it's talking about the mind state, the emotional state, how you feel, how you respond. And it's saying that you must respond in a balanced way between you and others in the world. You know, your ego versus him. You got to be balanced, is what it's saying. The next one is Aquarius, Libra. Now, these two signs are air signs and are harmonious. And before I'm trying to figure out how I can do this more efficiently to move forward quicker. And this one is Aquarius, Libra, Palace. Now, Palace represents the intelligence. Where you think you love intelligence and what it's about. And it's saying Aquarius, Libra. It's going to be about, remember, Libra is about you entering a contract with another in order to produce something that's beneficial to both parties. It's in relationship to Aquarius, which talks about you partnering with others, humanity. Humanity. Partnering together. That, and what now understand what I got from this. I think I can say it better. Understand what I got from this. Once I interpret it, this is what God, when I had that dream, this is what it was about. Is that God is setting it up, has set it up. This is what it is for me, for you, for us, for humanity. Is that He's going to make some things happen. He's going to put some things into play. We don't have a choice. And the thing is that it's about your mind. Now, He's going to make your mind. He's going to shift your mind and make you focus where you need to be focused at. And the palace, your intelligence, is going to be on your partnership with the rest of humanity. We have Aquarius, Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is about that being so intensely involved in someone else's feelings. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to be intensely involved, and it's the EP, and this is the expression. It's like it's the East Point, another ascent, another way you present yourself to the world, and it is a part of your personality. And it's saying that now, people of this world, beings of this world, I'm going to cause you to be emotionally involved with Aquarius, the world, humanity. Next one, Aquarius, Sagittarius with Venus. We know Venus is harmony and balance and love and beauty. And Sagittarius is the seeker. He gets to go out in the world and go on these grand adventures for one purpose: to get whatever experiences he needs so that he can gain knowledge and enlightenment, so that he can be blessed, meaning so that he can grow, so that he can be developed. So I'm saying, I'm going to let you go out into this world, because what you're going to do is you're going to learn how to Venus, balance, and be harmonized with the world, humanity. This is what he's saying to each one of us. Remember the stronghold broke, and we're responsible for what we do? Now, he's setting the rules, and he's telling you what he's going to do. Now, the next one is Aries, Pisces, Mercury. Aries is your life force and energy moving forward and how you move forward. Mercury is your mind, your thinking. That goes back to your intelligence. Pisces is the loss. So we got Pisces, that's everybody out there, and the darkness. And we got Aries, you, the selfish individual, the id, the ego, you know. And it's saying, okay, that mindset of you going to be lost in the all, in the collective all of what? Humanity. The next one is Gemini, Pisces, part of fortune. Now, part of fortune is responsible for enhancing the degrees really close to it. Real close to it. It enhances it. It boosts it. It quickens it. So when we start talking about Gemini being lost, now we're starting to talk about, now I want you to understand that when I talk about these things, I'm talking about them from a perspective of the id, the ego, the selfish individual. So selfishness, your ego, what you want, your mindset like that is being lost or diminished or confused or clouded, so that you can't get in touch with your selfish self. The next one is Gemini, and Gemini talks about, you know, when you early on, when you learning who you are and your place in the world and how the world functions, you know, it starts with your siblings, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your neighborhood and your community, and you interacting and socializing, lighthearted fun. This enhances, that's loss. And I'm not talking about it, of course we're going to still have neighbors, but I'm talking about that mindset. It's all about what you want. You know, you want to hang out, you want to party, you want to do this. It's being shrouded. It will be shrouded. The next one is Cancer, Pisces. And so, you know, Cancer is like that motherly figure, that nurturer, that supporter. And it's with Neptune. Now, Neptune is the cloud. And so it's saying, again, we're talking about ego-driven existence of the individual, about self, about our friends, about our family. And the next one is Libra, and Libra, Pisces, Sun, and in partnership. So I say it again, it's about our ego-driven selfishness, about self, about our friends and associates, about our family, about our partnerships, especially those romantic, those ego-sustaining interactions with others is being shrouded, washed away slowly but surely from March 6th, 2016. They won't be as important to you. God is not going to allow it to be. And I'll get to why. Now, I'm going to go into the second house. The second house has Sagittarius, Pisces, Chiron. Sagittarius, remember, the adventurer, the adventurer that gets to go out on these big expeditions in life, have these big experiences to journey out for what? So he can get the experiences so that he can grow in understanding, so that he can be blessed, so that he can grow, so that he can be enlightened. Without these adventures, he won't get enlightened. Without these experiences, he won't get enlightened. We have Pisces here. So now we got Sagittarius venturing off into Pisces. What is Pisces? The collective consciousness, spirituality. It is the feeling. Remember, Pisces is about the collective consciousness and what they're feeling. An example of this is when you see watching TV and they show the little child from Africa or Ethiopia or something, and the child is malnutritioned. Some people can look at that and not care. Not anymore. And it's Chiron, the wounded healer, saying that, before I do that interpretation, Aries, Scorpio. Aries is the south, moving forward, how you put your energy forward. Scorpio is the depth of involvement. Uranus also is generational and sudden enlightenment, sudden events that occur in order to bring you enlightenment and understanding and clarity. It is a liberating thing. It liberates you from your retardation, or your lack of empathy in this case. Because what is saying between these two is that your ventures, each individual in humanity, from March 6th, from this day forward, was what I'll say, will be that of seeking after Aries. Aries moving your energy. It was Sagittarius seeking after the experience, the emotional results of the experiences others in humanity have had. Pisces and the 12th house, foreign countries, foreign lands, things distant from you. And I'm talking about getting intensely involved. Why do I want you, individual, to get intensely involved in somebody else's experience? It's so that you, with Uranus, sudden enlightenment, you will understand their suffering. You will be compassionate and empathetic. Third house, Aries, Pisces. Again, that's your energy, your drive to move forward in life, and how you put your power forward, putting one foot in front of the other, into Pisces, the house of isolation, separation, mental hospitals. It's just being in an uncomfortable place, or a distant place, or a place of the unknown, the collective consciousness. With Vesta. Vesta represents one's ability to devote themselves fully, 100% to a particular cause. So Aries is you. It's me. Moving forward in life, Vesta, to devote ourselves to a cause, Pisces, the collective consciousness, the collective experience, the whole thing that has happened on this planet since we've been here, and how we, I'm going to move to fast, have been affected, Okay. Now, it moves to jumps to the 8th house now. Now, the 8th house has to do with, what I didn't do is when I was doing the first house, I'm so sloppy with my word. When I was doing the first house is about your identity. It's your presentation to the world. And so God is saying, I'm going to make your presentation like this. This is how you're going to move forward in the earth from now on. And remember, you're saying you're going to learn to balance you versus the rest of humanity, and have a mindset to be harmonious with the other, and you're going to be truly involved in this. This is where you're going to go in life with the first house. Your forward movement, your identity, your presentation, the first thing that you see and see. It says in that same first house is that, hey, you're going to release. I'm telling you, you're going to release your ego driven connections with yourself, with your friends and associates, with your family, and with your partnerships. That's going to be your identity, every individual in humanity. And the second house is about your values, which you possess, what brings you comfort. He's saying the only thing that's going to bring you comfort, Sagittarius, Pisces, Chiron, Aries, Scorpio, Uranus. The only thing that's going to bring you comfort and security in this world is to seek out and understand the experiences of others and to sympathize with them and to try to help them, of course. Now, the third house, remember, is your early upbringing, how you learn who you are in the world and how the world is and your place in the world through your interactions with your aunts, your siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, community, neighbors, and all that, all right? And seeing that energy, that learned energy, is going to be, that initial learned energy is going to be transformed into an energy where you can devote yourself to the cause I said, learning about the other people in humanity, and dedicating yourself to their welfare, their well-being. That's what it's saying. That's going to be your education, because now we're being reborn. We're being reborn. Okay. Now in the 8th house. The 8th house is about hidden things that we need to seek out, like your psychological nature. It is your level of commitment based on your psychological makeup, and that dictates how committed you can be to whatever. And what we have is Virgo. Virgo represents being very detailed, precise, precision, excellence. With Scorpio, you can excellently dive deep, Scorpio, emotionally, intensely deep into 8th house's other people. Dive deep. That's what it's going to be about. This is what God is saying. This is the position of the stars at 5 a.m. in the morning, when I turn my feet out that bed and sit here at this computer and type the date and time and location of my experience of that dream, that collective prayer. And now, because I was reminded a couple of days ago to get to this so that I could create this video, for those that will be called to watch it, I interpret what I see. And it's saying Jupiter retrograde. Remember, Jupiter has to do with Sagittarius. Jupiter is the expansion and growth. You will gain through your it's the expansion and growth of your knowledge, your awareness, and your enlightenment. Retrograde meaning we're going to go back over this. We're going to keep going back over this. You're going to get real detailed and deep in somebody else's business and somebody else's feelings and somebody else's emotions. Virgo, Sagittarius, node. The node, the true node, is saying you got to master this. You ain't going up out of here without mastering this. You're not going to ascend without mastering this. And this is Virgo, Sagittarius. Oh, you going on this journey. You're going to go on this journey and you're going to master understanding somebody else. You gonna feel it. You gonna feel what they feel. Yeah. The next one is retrograde Lilith. Now, have you ever heard me talk about Lilith? I said Lilith like the wild girl with no shirt on. She doesn't want any masculine input or authority trying to tell her what to do. She's the girl gone wild. She executes her individualism and her right to do what she wants to do. Now she's in retrograde, saying going back over that. The partnership with Libra. We're going back over these contracts. We're going back over these contracts. Because remember, Libra is you entering a contract with another in order to work together, in order to produce something that benefits the both of you. And we have Libra here. And saying, okay, you know that wild freedom? Well, guess what? We're going back over that and we're going to redefine that for you, the individual, each individual in humanity. You are going to go back and go over those contracts. You're going to reset up contracts. That's what you're going to do with your freedom. You know, you're going to be working together in order to come up, build something, or create something that's beneficial to the both of you. The both of you who? You, me, and humanity. The next house is the 9th house, and the 9th house is the house of your higher understanding. Because remember, that's Jupiter's in this house, and it's talking about your higher understanding, meaning you've journeyed through this life, and through your experience in life, you get understanding, awakening, awareness. And from that awareness, you get to expand, you know, you get to expand spiritually and mentally. And in this house is Scorpio, going real deep and detailed and getting real involved in Libra, in somebody else. You're going to get real detailed in those contracts where you come together to create something that's beneficial to the both of you. You're going to get real detail in that with Juno, like that's your spouse. Same way that you would be with your spouse, that ego relationship, you're going to be with the rest of humanity. We have Scorpio, Capricorn in this same house. And in the midheaven. Now the midheaven is like the spotlight shining down on you. This is what you're known for doing in this world, and it's your ambition. And he's saying your ambition, Scorpio, Capricorn, you're gonna be deeply involved in this ambition. This is gonna be your job. He's saying this to each and every one of us. And understand that, so from here on out, everything that you do in life is moving you to the point of basically being considerate of others. It's going to be your job. This is what you're going to do. And you're going to be real detailed about it, as if this was your very own. Now the 10th house. Now, when I first talked about the 10th house, I was seeing how this next alignment was on the cusp of the 9th and 10th house. That's your beliefs moving into your destiny, your ambition. It's like how your beliefs affect you. How do they affect you? cause you to basically chase after a certain career ambition, or make you want to enhance your reputation or your status because you believe something, because you understand something to be true. And so that's where we are here. And it has Sagittarius, Aries. This is your journeying through life, adventuring through life for the purpose of gaining enlightenment so that you can expand. Aries, this is your job. Yep, this is your job every day now, whether you know it or not. It's on a subconscious level, I'm quite sure. But it's saying that from here on out, you're journeying through life. Every experience that you have is to get you to move forward and to gain knowledge so that you can expand, so that you can be blessed. The next house is the 11th house, and the 11th house is the house of friendships, associates. I call it the large social network where you interact with others in order to teach and learn so that you can ultimately gain. And in that house is Sagittarius, the one that goes out and seek. I'm going out to seek after this particular large social network group, and I'm gonna be teaching and learning it so that I can gain Libra partnerships, you know. So if this is going to like a selfish, you going out trying to, you know, interact and to do what you want to do to build the networks that you want to build. Saturn's here. And Saturn is over limiting you, restricting you, denying you. Because what he's trying to do is get you to grow up in something. He wants you to mature. He's saying mature. And universe, God is saying you got to care about somebody else. So the rule Saturn is, it may be saying here, is what I'm getting is, the rule is, when you seek after these partnerships, when you enter these social networks, it's not about you anymore. It's not about you. That's the limit. That's the restriction. Restriction in this case from the rest of what I'm reading. This is the restriction. Now, you got to figure it out. You know, that's a Saturn work. You figure it out. But I'm here to tell you, what he's saying is, the rules, because he's about the rules. The rule is, when you go into these partnerships, when you join these networks, when you out here teaching and learning, it ain't about you. It's about humanity. It's about the other. So, Saturn is going to be causing, it's his job to do it, a lot of conflict, or just making it very difficult to develop ego-driven, ego-driven, what can I say? One seeking things for themselves because of their ego. There's going to be some challenges there, definitely. Because again, he's saying it's not about you now. When you go connect with others, when you want to work with others, when you want to learn and teach from others, when you want to gain, it's about somebody else. It's about humanity. It's about the other. And the final house is the 12th house. Now, the 12th house is the last house. This is the completion and an accumulation of everything that has transpired thus far on the astrological wheel. And so it's like your experiences in this life, how did they affect you at the end? What is your ultimate emotional response to all these things that have happened in your life? What did it cause you from the moment you came out the womb? All the joys, all the pain, all the happiness, whatever. Where did it lead you? You know, Did it lead you to jail? Did it lead you to isolation? Did it lead you to be charitable? So, in this 12th house, it's Capricorn. Remember, Capricorn is an earth sign that is here to work or materialize some ambition in their life through hard work, dedication, and it's like this steadfast sense of loyalty to this ambition in what? Libra, partnerships. So, and Pluto is here ruling Capricorn, and I mean, in this house. And Pluto is about destruction. It's about power struggles. It's about Pluto power. Let me see what I wrote here. I get to talking. I didn't do it because I thought it was going to be easy for me. Anyway, let's deal with Pluto as being a destructive force, and it wants to break things down to make room for something new. So, Capricorn's job here in the 12th house is to interact with another in order to gain something beneficial for both parties. What are the both parties? Self and humanity, the rest of the world. 12th house. And Pluto represents the destructive force that takes place during the negotiation, the power struggle between and what the outcome can be in the 12th house. Now, I promised you that I would, I don't know if I did a good job or not, if I explained that well enough or not. But I am going to attempt to give a summary of all of that. What I am understanding, I want you to keep the dream at the front of your mind as I give a summary of the layout of the stars. And what the stars were saying is that, what God was saying through the stars is that, okay, the time has come in humanity where I have interceded, I have broken the strongholds, you're responsible for what you do from here on out. Now, thus far, you've been very egotistical people, very egotistical individuals. Not anymore. No, not anymore. Not with you, not with yourself, not with your associations, not with your family, not with your partnerships. I'm calling you to experience what you need to experience so that you can get sensitive. Sensitive to others' experience. And I want you to become so sensitive to others' experience that you can dedicate yourself wholeheartedly to the other in humanity. And this is to each individual being in this world he's talking about. He says, I'm going to keep you, my people, from doing certain things that have been destroying you thus far. And I'm going to inspire you. I'm going to set you free. And I'm going to inspire you. I'm going to put you on the path to righteousness and to recovery. And this is what you must do in order to ascend. You will relinquish your selfish ways and will embrace the consciousness of the collective. I don't know if I made that sound right. And there is a final outcome of all that. Me setting you free, putting you on the road to recovery. You know, you still got free will. So now you're responsible. Remember, you're responsible for yourself from here on out. Each one of us, each individual in humanity. It is your responsibility, this is what you must master, to understand, don't even pay yourself no attention. Let humanity pay you attention, Nancy. Humanity, each individual in humanity, don't pay yourself no attention. Let the rest of the world take care of you. That's what he has shown me in the lineup of the stars. And I was about to talk about free will. We have free will. They say you're responsible for yourself. You're responsible for yourself now. Since March 6th, 2016, at 5 a.m., you're responsible for yourself and what you do. These are your works in life. When I open up this book, a book of life, and see what you have done, I'm going to judge you on that. And I'm telling you that the 12th house is the last house. Remember, it's the accumulation. The accumulation. And it's saying, okay, in the 12th house. Now, again, the 12th house is the place of isolation, separation, jails, hospitals, foreign lands, spirituality. It's the house of undoing. You undo yourself here. You know what I'm saying? It is the result of the influence of your collective experience on you. You know? And now we're not just talking about in the physical, mundane sense. Because now we're starting to talk about spirituality. We're starting to talk about prophecy being fulfilled. So, okay, either you're going to be charitable and empathetic, I think is the word, or sympathetic to others. And not only are you going to be that, you're going to help. You're going to help. You're going to support the other, humanity. That's your job. And they're going to support you. That's their job, each individual. Or, again, we're not talking about the mundane. We're talking about prophecy being fulfilled, prophecy unfolding. So if you don't, you know what the 12th house represents. Something I never really took serious. Now we're talking about fire and brimstone. We're talking about hell. In this physical plane, we go to jail, we go to hospitals, we die. We talking about our soul now. Either we're going to be collectively active and harmonizing, like I told you, me and others were doing this prayer, or you're going to be cut off. And that was also a part of the reading of the second scripture I read. I believe that was the one in Revelations 20, where it talks about when he goes to open the book of life, read what your works were, and judge you, and cast you down into the abyss, the fire, the brimstone we'd heard about, that I know I didn't take seriously. So no God would do that. No good God would do that. But this, folks, is the prophecy that I've received. Now, mind you, my religious studies were about 15 15 years ago, I want to say. So I've been out of the church really for, I know, good 10 years. But 15 years ago, I had my religious studies. I was in the church real hard. I'm talking about as an adult. About 5, 6 years strong. I'm talking about strong. And that's not, I mean, that's not a real long time to certain people, but when you start taking the studies outside of the church, that's a long time. It is a long time. But so now, what I'm talking about here is that how this prophecy has come to me. It just didn't happen with that dream. I've been journeying. What I see now is I've been journeying for a long time. No wonder I'm tired. But my church time allowed me to come and Google the scriptures and just know the word. When he said strong, I knew that was this word. I could find those studies allowed me to go get that portion of that part or that tool. My study in astrology in the last 10, 12 years, whatever it's been, allowed me to be able to interpret this enough to get the message. The dream that wasn't a dream. It was an awakened experience partnered with the astrology, the religious studies when I was in church, allowed me to interpret this for you. And it doesn't stop here. It's one of the other things that I want to go over. Okay, it's one of the things that I want to go over with you. But before I go over that final thing, I'd like to tell you the scriptures that I read in case you just want to go look at them. I read, the first one was, I believe, Second Samuel's chapter 22, verse 18 and onward. And I mentioned that that exact same text was repeated in Psalms, and that's Psalms 18, chapter 18, verses 17 and on. And the second scripture text that I read was from Revelations 21 through 15, I believe. That's just in case you want to go look. Okay, let me see what I didn't do. Oh, okay. I kind of jumped the gun on the end, but I'll just repeat it. It's one of the things that I wanted to cover, and that one thing is about my conversation with my associate after I had the dream, the experience as a part of that group that prayed. And I told you I was so excited that I went and spoke to an associate. He chuckled and he said to me, you know, this is the age of Aquarius. When he said it, I was like, yeah. When I started to prepare this presentation, this commentary, whatever it's categorized as, that came back to me. And maybe I'm just simple and silly, but I think that people in general believe the age of Aquarius is something that is like the 60s, free love and daisies and all that, free love, maybe a little drugs, that kind of thing, you know, peace and singing, Woodstock. From my understanding, that is not the age of Aquarius. So I'm going to break it down for you real quick. And you just let me know what you know. But I'm going to tell you what I know. Or at least I think you know. Now, again, I spoke about Aquarius being ruled by Saturn and Uranus early in the video. And Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Uranus. And they're both generational planets. Is Saturn a generational planet? Is Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are. I'm not sure about Saturn being but it's a karmic planet. Saturn is more of a karmic planet, where Uranus is a generational planet. So Saturn is karma. This is the karma of, this is the age of Aquarius. This is the karma of humanity. Since the beginning of time, humanity has earned their karma or developed their karma through their works. And what our works have led to thus far is selfishness and greed and not caring about the next person. So Saturn says, I got to do something about this. Remember, Saturn is Satan. He has a job to do. He has duties to perform. And he does so by limiting, restricting, denying, and other things. What you want or feel like you need for that which you must have. He making sure you gonna get it, but you ain't gonna have that. This is what you need. You want that? No. This is what you need. And you're going to work your ass off to get there. And I'm going to deny you, restrict you from that ego thing you want, because it's not getting you anywhere. You had your time to show who you were, who you are, humanity. And I got to keep you from killing yourself. So I'm going to make you work hard to get here. Because God said here. Remember, Satan, the angel of light, morning star, work for God. And God said, you stop them in their tracks. And I want them here. That's his job. He's going to get us there. And Uranus also works, the energy works for the Most High God universe. And Uranus say, oh, okay. Oh, you need some events to occur in this world. So that the people, so that humanity will wake up. The Great Awakener. Get up. Wake up out of your stupidity and your ignorance. That's what Uranus does. So we can count on, during the age of Aquarius, there being many events and circumstances and situations that's going to evolve and develop, that's trying to shake us up. Wake up. Wake up and pay attention. Love each other. Take care of each other. Don't worry about yourself. Let the rest of you, each individual in humanity, worry about you. And you, they are not to worry about themselves. Each of you individuals, including you, Nancy, and you worry about them. Okay. It's going to be a lot of events there from here on out. I looked up how long or what's the period of the age of Aquarius. And what I came up with, or I found, is that it's 2,160 years. So, end of the world, I don't know. Well, I don't think so. I think time just goes on. We here in these physical bodies fade out. and birth into a new generation. And we are to teach them. Because remember, Aquarius is about teaching. It's about learning and teaching. First, we have to learn how to live. We have to learn how to exist. We have to learn how to coexist. We got to learn how to care about each other. And take care of Mother Earth, you know, all that. Because God is also saying, hey, acknowledge her. Her who? Earth. You know, don't worry about yourself. You worry about Earth. Just as he's told Earth, don't worry about yourself. Take care of them. And she has been faithful. She has been faithful to us. And so, again, I get off track. Aquarius is about teaching and learning in large social group settings, humanity. In order to teach and learn. You're enacting in order to teach and learn. So we're about to be taught by God's command. We're about to be taught how to care for one another. Earth, how to care for Earth, and how to ascend, how to evolve, in order that we can teach it to the next generation. We're looking at 2,160 years. And they can teach it to the next generation, and the next generation, and the next generation, till we evolve back to Him over a long period of time. Remember, Aquarius is about freedom, freedom of humanity to teach. So let's break it down a little bit and bring it down on individual level, because we still in this experience now. What I'm talking about is evolving. It's starting to roll and evolve and get bigger, and people are going to wake up and see what's going on. Now, if Saturn represents freedom, humanity, Uranus represents liberation. God is trying to free humanity. He's trying to free you and me. He's broken the strongholds. But we're not just talking about now. We're talking about forever. Free you. But as Uranus suggests, is that there has to be some events that take place. And I'm not seeing that these events are all going to be good. Quite the contrary. I think that we're going to be tried in the fire, literally. A new, gotta be truthful, a new power struggle, a new power struggle. And I say a power struggle in comparison to Holocaust, slavery. What is happening in this world? So many things. Those are two major things. Power struggles. Cultural power struggles. Spiritual power struggles. You know. What they say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And so we are learning how to stand for the right cause. For a cause that includes the collective. And in doing so, remember, you got free will, freedom. And Aquarius represents individualism. So it's the freedom of individuals. It's the freedom of an individual group. So you can have one group overtake another group. That's why I brought up slavery and the Holocaust. So my people, we need to wake up. Hurry up and wake up. You know, what does this say? And I guess what I was writing here is that, I mean, read, you know, I gotta read at some point in time what I wrote, and it's just a note, so it's gonna be a mess. Aquarius, social interactions where you teach and learn with the intent of gaining something. That's something, oh yeah, what are we gonna teach and learn, you know? What are we gonna gain? We're gonna gain experience. That's what I'm saying. Some things can manifest from here on out. We're going to gain knowledge. If we got to be held down, you're going to You're going to experience a hold down. But from that holding down, you're going to gain knowledge, information. You may even gain connections or networks, groups of like minds. You know, it's people are going to be after their way. There are going to be groups after their way. There's going to be people that are favored and those that are not. Power struggles. You know, if we don't wake up and see what's going on. But I say as I close this video that to me, I have been the recipient of receiving a prophecy and deciphering the prophecy and delivering it over to those who are called to watch this video. If you made it through to the end, you were meant to make it through to the end and to hear what I was told and what I've learned. So I say, learn to love others as you do yourself. It will be beneficial for us each to do that from this day forward. Until next time, from Can Angels Fly, 1970. Bye.